What's going on, guys? In this one we're going to be making one of my personal favorites, which is pasta alla vodka. The rich rosé sauce is seriously the most incredible partnership with any pasta of your choice, and best of all, it's so easy to make and really doesn't take that much time at all. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright guys, start this off by placing a pot of water onto your stovetop over a high heat, add in a small handful of salt to season the water and bring it to a boil. The first thing we're going to need to prep is 4 cloves of freshly peeled garlic, to which we're going to run along a fine microplane or grater to create a paste, which is otherwise known as minced, and once that's done, be sure to scrape out each and every last bit of it to avoid wasting any of this good stuff. Now the second ingredient is 1 medium to large sized brown or yellow onion. With this, slice off the tip end, leaving the root intact, slice it in half to then peel off the skin, and of course, save the scraps for a stock. Proceed to make thin slices across the onion, stopping before you hit the root to keep it intact and to stop us from crying. Slice the onion in half through the center horizontally to break up the formation, and yes, this does actually do something. Then come through and dice the onion into nice small pieces, with the correct term being brunoise. Once that's done, slide the diced onion out the way and trim off any excess flesh from around the root to avoid any wastage, and just like the skins, save the root for a stock. So for this recipe, we are going to need vodka. It doesn't need to be an expensive bottle either, but if you can't consume alcohol, I'll leave the substitutes in the description below. Also, if you want to have a bit of fun making this recipe, you can bring out the big guns, but please don't get carried away and always be responsible with the consumption. Now getting this on the go, add 450 grams or 15.8 ounces of the pasta of your choice to the boiling water and cook as per your packet instructions or until al dente, giving it an occasional stir as you go. Place a large pan onto your stovetop over a high heat. Once hot, pour in 1.5 tablespoons or 30 milliliters of olive oil, add in the diced onions and sweat these off for 3 to 4 minutes or until very lightly golden and slightly translucent, giving them a mix regularly. If you don't know what sweating something off is, it basically means cooking without color, and to do that efficiently, all you need to do is keep the onions moving around fairly regularly. Next, we can add in our minced garlic or garlic paste, breaking it up and mixing it through the onions, and with this, saute for 30 seconds to bring out the flavor and aroma, mixing it around the whole time to prevent it from burning, which will leave a bad bitter taste in the pan, and if it does burn, unfortunately we will have to start again. Please be careful. Once that's done, let's add in one of the main ingredients, which is 150 grams or 5.2 ounces of concentrated tomato paste, which is easily accessible at any of your local grocery stores or supermarkets, along with 3/4 of a teaspoon or 1 gram of dried chili flakes, which is optional if you're not a fan of the heat. Let's now mix this through, getting the onion and garlic coated in the tomato paste, lower the heat to medium-high, and cook this for 3 minutes, stirring it regularly. During this time, the tomato paste flavor will greatly develop and it will start releasing its oils, which will then allow the flavor of this dish to progress into something very special and at the same time stay very simple. Now 3 minutes later, it's time to add in 2 tablespoons or 40 milliliters of vodka, remembering not to use expensive stuff, then stir it through the tomato paste, onion and garlic, and allow it to reduce and deglaze the pan for 1 minute, stirring it regularly. This will add a very pleasing flavor, including a touch of heat and a slight sharp bite, and it will also balance the flavor in the tomatoes, as well as the cream, which is one of the ingredients that we're going to be adding in next. Before that, add in 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of sea salt flakes, as well as 1 teaspoon or 10 cracks of black pepper, remembering that seasoning is always to your taste, so adjust accordingly, then give this a quick mix through to allow those flavors to become friends. Speaking of it before, add in 1 cup or 250 milliliters of thickened cream, which is also known as heavy cream or whipping cream. Then proceed by stirring it through to create a deliciously rich, creamy rosé sauce. And with this, once it's fully incorporated, bring it to a simmer, then reduce the heat to low and cook the sauce for a further 2 minutes to very slightly reduce it and enhance its flavor, again stirring it regularly. Also, what's a Chef Jack Ovens video without the use of garlic and cream? After all that's done, turn the sauce off the heat and we can now add in the al dente pasta into the sauce using a kitchen spider or slotted spoon, draining off any excess water. For this recipe, I did choose to use penne, which is one of the more popular varieties for a dish like this, but you can use literally any type of pasta that you prefer. With penne, I find it's the perfect size to hold in all of that delicious sauce. Also, scoop out about a cup's worth of the pasta water and pop it aside just in case we need to thin out the sauce. Our next step now is to mix the pasta through the sauce, getting everything well coated, and say goodbye to that little runaway piece there. Once mixed through, grab yourself some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano or Parmesan cheese and grate in around 1/4 cups worth. I won't give an exact measurement for this because you can add in as much or as little as you'd like, but don't go overboard and grate in like 300 grams or 10.5 ounces or so, because it will ruin it and it won't mix properly, and we can also add in more at the end if you wanted to. Add in another half teaspoon or 2.5 grams of sea salt flakes along with another 1 teaspoon or 10 cracks of black pepper for that tasty finishing touch. Then mix that through the pasta, getting everything fully incorporated, which will allow the cheese to slowly melt through. This part is optional, but if you wanted a little bit more sauce, you can add in a small amount of the starchy pasta water to thin it down, again mixing it through, and this will not only thin out the sauce, the starch in the water will act sort of like a glue, allowing the sauce to stick to each piece of pasta, and once that's done, this can then be removed from the stovetop. Now to serve this up, place the delicious pasta into a bowl or in a plate, or eat it straight from the pan if you really can't wait, but please be careful because it will be hot. Then grate over some more Parmigiano Reggiano cheese for a great cheesy finishing touch, with the amount being completely up to you. Place over some thinly sliced basil leaves to add freshness and a nice contrast in colour. Then how good does this look? We've got that beautiful glossy rich rosé vodka sauce all soaked up in the pasta, more cheesy goodness, and of course freshness from the basil, which then leaves us with the best step left to do, and that is we can then dig in. So there we have it. This recipe right here serves 2 to 3 people and it can easily be doubled, tripled and so on, or halved if you wanted to make less. To store it, you can place it in the fridge in an airtight container for up to 4 days and in the freezer for up to 6 months. And to reheat it, place it back in a pan over a medium-high heat, add a splash of water and just heat it up till it's nice and hot. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button, comment, share, do all of that stuff. It really does help my channel out, and consider subscribing along with hitting that bell notification next to it so you never miss when I upload. Thanks for watching everyone, stay safe and enjoy.